Dear students, I welcome all of you in the another session of transportation engineering. So we have been discussing the segment number one, that is introduction part, and in this session we are discussing about the various elements of highway planning and development. So we are discussing about the highway planning and development. We are going to discuss the topics such as classification of road based on PSC method. I will explain all these things so you do not need to worry about anything. Then we'll discuss about the important committees and the recommendations. We'll also discuss about the JICAR committee and its recommendation. We'll discuss about the Indian Road Congress, how it was conceptualized, what are the functions of Indian Road Congress, that is also called as IRC, and we are also going to discuss Central Road Research Institute and Central Road Fund, that is CRF. That is what we are going to discuss. So let us discuss all the topics one by one. The first is about the road classification, and the classification is based on three categories. The shortcut method to remember this particular classification is PSC. Now, what is the full form of this PSC classification? So let us learn about that thing. That the P stands for pavement surface classification. The classification of road based on pavement surface. Now, if we discuss about pavement surface, then there are two kind of categories. First is called as surface roads, and second is called as unsurfaced road. Now, surface road is the road which is having the surface minimum of bituminous. If the road surface is having the material, such as at least it is provided with bituminous material, then it is called as surface road. And if it is not provided with at least a bituminous category of material, then that is called as unsurfaced road. Then the another classification is based on the seasons, that is called as all weather roads and fair weather roads. Now these all weather roads mean the roads which are resumed, which are available, which are feasible in all weather conditions, means they are available, they are in working condition in all the seasons such as winter, summer and monsoon. And the fair weather roads are the roads which are not working if monsoon season is there. See, in Ahmedabad city or in one of your cities, you might have observed that there are various kind of road networks that they do not work or they are not in working condition when it is rainy season. Due to the road efficiency, due to the potholes, the raveling, cracks, this kind of deficiencies result the road in fair weather roads. So fair weather roads are the roads which are not working in monsoon season, and this is the classification based on seasons. And if you discuss about carriageway based, then based on carriageway there are two types of road. One is called as paved road and another is called as unpaved road. Now this paved road means the surface of road which is having the pavement surface, which is having paved surface such as minimum of water-bound macadam. And unpaved roads mean the roads which is having the surface having no paved surfaces, such as it is the surface of sand, clay or any kind of materials. So these are the classifications which are based on three categories. P means pavement surface. Pavement surface has the classification of surface road and unsurfaced road. Then the season based classification, that is having two categories of all weather roads and fair weather roads, and carriageway classification, that is having again two categories, paved roads and unpaved roads. Now let us discuss about the committee and the recommendations. The first is about JICAR committee. See, this is one of the most important as well as interesting topics. This is the interesting one also. See, why there was the need of formation of JICAR committee. So when the First World War was there, the First World War was occurred in 1914 to 1918. So during the First World War, which was occurred in 1914 to 1980, it was observed that the vehicles which are using the road, the number of those vehicles which were using the road were increased. So there were more vehicles which were using the road. And so there was the increased demand of a good road network. So due to this study, The resolution was passed by both the chambers of Indian legislature in 1927. Due to this increased demand of good network in First World War 1914 to 1918, the resolution was passed by both the chambers of Indian legislature in 1927. Why it was passed? The resolution was passed for the appointment of a committee. Why this committee was formulated? This committee was formulated for the better road development question or to solve this better road development question. So, in order to solve this resolution, or in response to this particular resolution, one of the committees was formulated, and that committee was called as Indian Road Development Committee (IRDC). And this Indian Road Development Committee was appointed by government, and as we all know that each committee has its own chairman. So the name of the chairman of this committee, Indian Road Development Committee, the chairman's name was Mr. M.R. Jaikar, who was a lawyer from by the profession. So Mr. M.R. Jaikar was there, who was heading this committee. The name of the committee was Indian Road Development Committee. It was chaired by M.R. Jaikar in 1927, and as Mr. M.R. Jaikar was heading this committee is also called as Jaikar Committee. This committee submitted its report to the government in 1928 after the tenure of 1 year, with including certain recommendations. There were recommendations, but out of which the most important recommendations that we are going to learn. Let me repeat all these things once again. That during First World War, which was during 1914 to 1918, vehicle using the road, the number of vehicles which were using the road were increased. It was the higher demand of better road network, and with a view to this higher better road demand, one of the resolution was passed by both the chambers of Indian legislature in 1927 for the appointment of the committee for better road development questions. In response to this resolution, Indian Road Development Committee was formulated. This was headed by Mr. M.R. Jaikar as the chairman in 1927, and Jaikar committee submitted its report with certain recommendations to the government in 1928. And what we are going to learn here is we are going to learn certain important recommendations. Out of the recommendations, the most important recommendations are as follows. The first recommendation was that in India the road development should be considered as the part of national interest. This is the first recommendation. Then another recommendation was that extra tax should be levied on the petrol. Why? If extra tax will be levied on the petrol, then the users will have to pay tax, and due to this incurred amount of tax, a road development fund can be created. There should be a technical body which should be established, which is able to amplify, which is able to implement all the possible solutions, possible decisions, and to analyze the road network in India. So one technical body should be there. That is the third point. And the fourth point was that one of the research organizations, means one of the organizations which should focus on research and development should be established, which is having its core focus towards the road development. So these are the four recommendations. First is that the road development should be taken as the part of national interest. Then the extra tax should be levied on the petrol in order to develop the road development fund. One of the technical bodies should be there which will be able to take all technical decisions related to road development, and research organization should be there which is continuously making the progress in research and development in order of betterment of the road network in India. So these are the four recommendations. These are called as Jaikar committee recommendations. So keep this in your mind. Now, after this thing, what was happened is there was the formulation of Indian Road Congress. So we have already learned that one of the points in Jaikar committee recommendation was to formulate a technical body, and another was to formulate a research and development organization. So there was a need to develop certain organizations. So there is another organization that is called as Indian Road Congress. The short form is IRC, and IRC is one of the most important statutory body. You need to have proper understanding about this. See, there is a method of my teaching that before jumping into any topic, we need to have the answers of where, when, and why. So we have learned that Jaipur Committee was formulated due to First World War. Why it was formulated, we have learned due to the betterment of road network. We have learned all the things related to that. Now we are going to learn the Indian Road Congress. The Indian Road Congress was established in New Delhi. So that is the answer of when. It was established in 1934, so that is the answer of when. And why it was formulated? Because one of the recommendations of Jaipur Committee was to establish a technical body which should be able to take technical decisions based on the route network. So this is it. Now let us discuss that Indian Road Congress is one of the active bodies which is having the national importance in India. It publishes various kind of journals, papers, booklets, codes through which people and engineers are able to enable themselves as a good engineer when it is about the road networking. It is having the prime importance in all three 20-year plans. We are going to learn all 20-year plans in the next session, but up till now, stay focused. Then it handles various kind of technical activities, and the technical activities is headed by the another child organization that is called as Highway Research Board. So that is the full form of HRB, Highway Research Board, which handles the technical activities. Then comes the collaboration. So it works collaboratively with various kind of other organizations, and it develops various kind of guidelines. It conducts periodical meetings for the betterment of the road network, importance of road network, then the technical activities of road network. It suggests various kind of improvement methods for the deterioration of road, poor condition of road, that how this road can be improved, what are the technical decisions that are required to be taken. It also suggests certain legislation, also certain laws and rules and legislation in order to improve the road network in India. So this is about Indian Road Congress. Indian Road Congress was established in New Delhi. It was established in 1934. It was established due to one of the recommendations of Jaipur Committee. Then it is one of the active bodies of national importance. It publishes various kind of journals. It is having importance in 320-year plan. The technical activities are headed by HRB, Highway Research Board. It works in collaboration with various other bodies, conducts periodical meetings for the development. So this is all about IRC. Now the another organization is CRRI, that stands for Central Road Research Institute. See, the fourth point in the JICA committee recommendation was to establish a research and development organization. So CRRI is the answer of that recommendation. CRRI was established in New Delhi itself. It was established in 1950, and it was established for the improvement and development of various kind of research in highway aspects. See, let us discuss about various kind of research area of CRI. It work or its research is based on design, construction and management of the road network. It also holds research part of traffic planning and control. It helps in various kind of research activities for transportation planning. Then what kind of terrain management should be done for various kind of road network. It also suggests various kind of R&D methods for marginal material improvement. Then it also helps and it also suggests research methods for ground improvement techniques. Ground improvement techniques. Then it also holds its research part on the utilization of various material in road construction. See, you have observed that nowadays one of the waste materials, that is plastic, that is being used in the road network. See, recently in Kolkata, before 2 3 days, in Kolkata, plastic has been used in the whole road network of a particular stretch in Kolkata. Then it also holds the research for the performance monitoring and evaluation of various projects. So Central Road Research Institute, short form is CRI, full form is Central Road Research Institute. As the name suggests, it is one of the R&D institutes. It is one of the parts of the recommendations given by Jaker Committee. It is situated in New Delhi. It was established in 1950. It holds the research of various highway aspects such as design, construction and management of road, traffic planning and control, ground improvement techniques, transportation planning, project management, marginal material improvement, waste material, usage of waste material in various kind of layers such as bitumen and subgrade and subbase and base. You are going to learn all these things. And performance monitoring and evaluation. And then comes the another thing that is called as central road fund. But before that, we need to have proper understanding of various working and child organization of CRI. So CRI is one of the laboratories of CSIR. This is one of the laboratories of CSIR. CSIR means Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So this is one of the, what I can say, it is one of the laboratories of CSIR. It works for the provision of technical and consultancy services to various user organizations in India and as well as abroad also. It is having various kind of child organizations. Means if this is the CRI, then it is having various child organizations such as bridge and structure, geotechnical engineering, human resource planning, pavement engineering and management, research and development services, and traffic and transportation planning. So these are the various kind of child organizations of Central Road Research Institute. And then comes last but not the least, it is Central Road Fund, that is also called as CRF. CRF was established, it was formed on 1st March 1929. Why? Because it was formulated based on the resolution passed by the Indian legislature that we have learned in Jaipur Committee's initial part. See, what was, as the name suggests, it is central road fund. So, what is the clean part of this particular theory is extra charge of 2.64 paisa per liter. I have mentioned that extra tax should be levied on the petrol. So that one fund can be organized and that fund is called as central road fund. See, CRRI is one of the recommendation part of Jaker committee. Then IFC is also there. Then this is CRF, it is also one of the recommendation results of Jager committee. So extra charge of 2.64 paisa per liter of petrol was decided to build on the road development fund. Once the fund is accumulated, it is collected, then out of the 100% fund, what is the segregation? So out of this 100% fund, the 20% of the annual revenue is to be reserved as central reserve. And it is used to give the grants to meet various kind of road administration expenses. So 20% is reserved with the central reserve. The remaining 80% is allocated to state government by central government based on actual petrol consumption and the revenue generated. So this is the segregation of 100%. That extra charge of 2.64 paisa per liter was used to develop the road development fund. 20% was kept as the central reserve. 80% was kept as the straight revenue generated part. The account handling was done by Accountant General of Central Revenue, and the authorities which were playing the main part was road wings of Ministry of Transport. Nowadays that is called as MORTH, that is Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. That is the latest name of that. So this is all about the second session, another session of our segment of this particular thing. we have understood direction of organizations and committee recommendations. Thank you so much.